Thanks for joining our special live coverage of the policy discussion with citizens. We are waiting for the 25th meeting of its kind to begin. This time, talks are taking place here in Seoul. The theme will be on labor issues. This is the first policy discussion with citizens in over a month. Since the last policy discussions with citizens, a follow-up meeting took place in April. The resumption of the policy discussion is especially noteworthy this time, as it's the first one since President Yoon Suk-yeol vowed to revitalize communication with the public. Entering his third year in office last week, he reflected on the past 2 years and recognized the people's uneasiness and livelihood difficulties. He also laid out his vision and policies for the 3 years ahead, which will include active communication with the public as well as the media. Now, for those of you who have just tuned in, we are waiting for the 25th round of policy discussion with citizens to begin, where President Yoon Suk-yeol is about to deliver a message as he has done in the past discussions. Previously, discussions had taken place in all corners of the country with the purpose of revitalizing livelihoods in non-metropolitan areas. And today's discussion is the first policy discussion with citizens in over a month, and the resumption of the talks comes with the Yoon administration entering its third year this month. And as President Yoon himself said during his press conference last week, he will spend the next 3 years making communication with the public more open, more active, and the policy discussion with citizens will serve as a means of doing that. We are waiting for the 25th round of policy discussions with citizens, where President Yoon Suk-yeol is about to deliver his message as he has done for the past 24 rounds of discussions in the past. Now, today's discussion is taking place for the first time since the last one that took place in April. President Yoon is about to deliver his remarks. We'll come back right afterwards.
네, 모두 자리에 앉아주시기
Please
바랍니다.
be seated.
네, 지금부터 국민과
We would
함께하는
like
민생
to
토론회
begin the policy
25번째
discussion with the people, the 25th edition, held under the theme of Thank You, a warm labor scene that we go together. Today we are here and joined by the self-employed and the ununionized workers, and this was organized to encourage them and also hear from them and communicate with them and try to find resolutions to the issues. The President will deliver his opening remarks. Hello everyone, it's very good to see you. Ever since end of March, it has been 1.5 months since we held this policy discussion, and it is very good to see you. Up until now, we had 24 rounds of policy discussions, and during the process, we have found many policies that we can implement, and it was actively reflected. And over the 24 meetings, we also held follow-up meetings, 2 times of follow-up meetings. And today marks the season 2, the second season of policy discussion with the people. And I hope that we can gather wisdom from all of you. The 25th policy discussion that we're holding today, we are going to talk about the labor vulnerables who are marginalized in the labor market. The economy has grown, and the labor union and company structure has changed, and in the long run, the lives of the workers have changed. Nevertheless, there are still many underprivileged workers in our society who cannot fully enjoy the fruits of the growth. And also there are many workers who are compensated, but on the other hand, we have many ununionized workers, self-employed and freelancers, especially the special type of employed workers and also the delivery workers and so on. With the labor reform, if we turn a cold shoulder to these underprivileged, it could not be a labor reform in earnest. So today, I hope to hear good resolutions and good ideas to improve the actual scene. Especially today, I would like to hear from the workers, especially the ununionized workers, because they find it hard to find where their voices could be heard. And in June 10, the Ununionized Worker Support Department under the Ministry of Employment and Labor will be established, and I will personally take care and look out for such department to stand properly. And also, there is a need to establish an institutional foundation to protect the labor vulnerable at a more fundamental level. And the state should take more responsibility in protecting these vulnerable laborers. The law for support and protection of the vulnerable laborers will be enacted, and we are going to support the organization of an institution that these vulnerable people could be supported when they are in when they are facing difficulties, and also these ununionized workers, their rights would be upheld, and the legal framework would also be embraced under this law. And the increased rights promotion projects for the underprivileged will be continued. For instance, the government will match the support with the main contractor, and this is a project to support the formation of an alliance where the small-sized self-employed and the main contractor could pair up, and they could see the improvement of welfare. And also, any issues that could be immediately resolved on site should be resolved on the site. And recently, the delivery workers, they're facing difficulties in terms of subscribing to insurance. So the insurance itself is quite expensive, making only 37.8% of the workers subscribing to the policy. So the government would like to ease the burden for their insurance. And also for these workers, they find it hard to have any places to rest for a short period of time. So we are going to support the establishment of a place where they could take some rest. And also the workplace and overdue wages of the workers would be solved by taking steps to penalize the employers who are not paying them the wages at the proper time. An imbalanced growth itself is not sustainable, and it is not meaningful anymore. Back in the days, we did not have sufficient resources, and therefore such imbalance. Growth was, to some extent, was accepted. But at the moment, from now on, it has to be a balanced growth with the labor workers and the company balancing out their support and their wages and the coexistence and the virtuous cycle of coexistence should be supported by the government, and such government support would not just stop at the support level, but it will lead to the growth of the company, and also it will be shared, the fruits will be shared with the workers. The labor market is changing every moment. The global competition is getting fiercer, and the structure is changing. And therefore, the labor structure itself, our labor structure, has changed as well. Under such circumstances, the dual structure of labor market should not be withstood. The welfare and wages that differs by the status and the type of employment of different workers are wide. And the polarization of the labor market results in a class polarization which would inflict crisis to our democracy. And this is something that the state should solve, and the government will do our utmost to solve this polarization of the market and also actively take care of and keep abreast of the workers' issues that they are facing. At today's discussion, we are joined by many workers who are silently working very hard on site, and I would like to look forward to your fruitful discussion and ideas so that our labor market could change. And I would like to make promise that our labor market will change. Thank you.
That was our live coverage of President Yoon Suk-yeol's opening remark ahead of the country's 25th policy discussion with citizens under the theme of labor issues. We'll bring you more details on the discussion in our upcoming newscast at noon Korea time. Thanks for watching.